Hi everyone, so we're going to move on from last week's book box, which we made this at the end of our video, and I said I would show you how to take it further. Okay, so in the last video you learn how to make this book box. Okay, most of it's from mount board, and that's from offcuts that I get from my local framers. Okay, so that was what finished the last video. So let's see how we're moving on. This is a Christmassy one, and the book opens, and here we've got the Bethlehem scene on the front. When we go inside, the same scene is inside, but I've added decoupage pictures to complete the front piece of the scene. Okay, so there we have the Christmas version. Okay. Right, let's have a look at another version. This one I've printed some brick paper and put a topper on it and a little text across the front. When we open it, I've got a die cut of a window, but you can pick any picture out of a magazine or anything, and I've just made up some little silk flowers and added some twiddly bits for leaves and things. Okay, so that's another version. The next one we've got was inspired by this picture of a greenhouse, and what I've done is I've actually just drawn the greenhouse on card and put it in the middle. So this is all taken from here, and I've just measured and made it up from strips of card. Inside there's another couple of strips of mount board for the shelving, and these were just left from a doll's house project, but I have made up other bits of pots and things. If you take a look at doll's house miniatures and how to make them, you get lots of ideas off the internet. Okay, so that was that one. Now this one dedicate to my lovely friend Liz, and she loves dogs, and here inside we have a couple of little decoupage dogs. I've just cut a rough shape out of wood paper, brick papers on the background. I do love brick and wood papers. So a little bit of stuff from railway scenery, very easy to get hold of, or have a look for some lichen and things that are growing when you take a little walk. Okay, so that's another one. This was just the lid off a glue stick. This was a little stick that I got from my garden, and this is a twig from the garden which I've just put some little bits of foam stuff on. Okay, so take a look at what you've got around. Look at this little dog's rope pull. All that was some embroidery silk that was twisted round and round and then let spring back on itself. So that is a fun way of doing it. And in the past we've also done little tiny macrame macrame leads with a little lobster claw attachment to that you'd use in your jewellery making. So do take a look at what else you can produce to make a miniature something. Right, okay, now we're going to look. I bring this one in. This one is one that I've made part up, and all I've done is a sky paper on the background. This was something I made from a template and just cut shapes of card. Right, this here was an Art Deco topper, and I've just cut her out. Okay, on the topper there were a few extra bits, so we're going to use those. So let's have a look what we've got. On the toppers I had 2 pieces of this navy. It's those. And I had 2 pieces that say Lovely Lady. So I'm going to take that and place that across the bottom and trim off the excess. Okay, right, I'm going to take the next one, place that on there. When you get an odd topper or anything, always be prepared to change it to make it fit. So this was rather a bulky topper. With the lady cut out, it suddenly becomes a very elegant Art Deco finish to it. So I'm cutting those off. Now, these are not quite long enough to go top to bottom. So it doesn't matter because I've got some corners. So I'm going to peel that off. Place that down one edge. You can see it starting to come together. Down that edge like that. And I've got 4 corners. Right. Now my corners are going to go, and they're covering the edge of my card where it didn't quite go, the length of the piece didn't quite go to the top. So now it's a complete card. Look how beautifully it starts to come together, but you're utilising something that perhaps wasn't quite right for your card. So be prepared to chop your pieces up and make them fit to what you want them to. So there's that. Now I've also got this one to for a special friend with love. So I'm not sure whether that would actually fit on. So I might use that inside. Okay, so we'll put that to one side. Be prepared to stop. All right. Don't just put everything on because it was part of the topper. So we're going to lift this now and open our book to go to the inside. Right, so I have done 4 of these pictures. I've printed them off exactly the same, and I've cut one to fit exactly in there. So I'm going to put some hot glue in there. I do like hot glue when I'm doing decoupage and things. I'm not sure about this one yet, we'll see. Right, Now I'm going to take number 2, and if we look at the picture, I've got topiary bushes, I've got 2 columns here and an archway. Okay, so I'm going to take my craft knife. People are afraid of craft knives, but a lot of it is just having the courage. I can hear that that's not cutting properly. So take the end off, snap a new blade, and you should be able to now cut. Oh yes, that's much better. So I'm going to go round the topiary tree. I want to just take out this back piece, so I'm going to go along to there, round the topiary, up the column, so it is practice with a knife, but just have a play with things. Now I'm coming out, up. Now I'm going to the circular semicircle bit. And we're almost down to the beginning. So then just pop out. If there's any little hairs caught, just go back in. There we go. So let's take a look. And now, if I trim the base off a little to fit, this is going to go in, and I can then lift this so that I can put either sticky fixers behind here or hot glue and let it rest in and dry to make depth to my picture. Okay, so let's take a look at the next picture. We've taken out this centre bit so that your picture drops back. The next one, I will leave the archway off, so I will just cut around the topiary, across the balustrade here, around the topiary, and round these little pots here. I may even just take this top bit of the arched decorative bit and use that to bring out these top 2 bits. Okay, so think about what you want to drop in the background. So we've dropped out the sky here. This time we're dropping out the columns, keeping the topiary, but we might bring this out as well. And the last one I've got, I might just take these pots out so that they stand out. And then we'll decide whether we put another lady standing in there. All right, so I'll get the other bits cut out and then we'll start to assemble. Right, so we've now got this back piece fitted in. I've cut out this bit. This bit I've put in with hot glue. This bit I've put some sticky fixers on, and I'm going to just place that onto there. And you also notice I've cut out these little bits on the balustrade. Okay. Right, now I'm coming to this bit, and this is going to be in the foreground, so I'm going to give it a little bit of shape just with my fingers, and I'm going to put hot glue on there because I don't want it flat raised, I want it curved. So I take my hot glue and I fill this centre bit with the hot glue, and we're going to place that onto there. Now if I can lift that up, you can probably see now that that's beautifully shaped to give it dimension. So here's my next one. Just put it round your finger and just give it a bit of shape. I'm going to fill the back piece and place that on the top. It won't exactly match because we've made it slightly smaller by bending it, but it's still got the picture underneath, so it'll look entirely natural. Okay. Right, now I also mentioned that I might cut out these extra bits on the columns up here. So I'm going to treat those the same way. So place it over my finger and oops, once again fill that. So on it goes. Make sure that the glue is in contact. And I'm going to pop a little bit of glue under there, which I missed, and just hold it for a second. There we go. Now just shape it round your finger. Make sure I get the glue to the bottom this time. And that is onto there. So now we've got a nice lot of dimension on there, and I've also cut out the other topper with the lady on, and I'm going to give her a little bit of shaping, and I think she would look lovely onto there. Now let's have a look what happens. Because we've taken the background away, she'd be quite difficult to stick down. I've got a flat surface under here. I've got a flat surface underneath her hips. But on the back of her head, that will be considerably away from the background. So when I come to put the double-sided tape, trying to find some bigger, here we go. When I put the double-sided tape on here, I'm going to put one at the base. I'm going to put one at her hips, so I know it will catch here and here. Now, when we come to her head, I'm going to stack probably two on top of one another, and I can just, no, I think we want one more. Just trial it. You don't want her head going right back unsupported. So let's go with that, and I think I'm going to go just to one side there. Now you can see her head is exactly the same height as the rest of her person. Okay, so that's that. Now we did end up with this to a special friend. I think I will add that up to there, but again I'm going to add some sticky fixers. So it's too small. Don't want it raised too much. There we go. So 2, 3. It's card, so we don't need too many. Right, so we now go up to a special friend with love. There we go. Right, so from a few background, 2 toppers have made this bit, which gave me 2 ladies. I've used some angled pieces of card with metallic edges. We've used the corners from 2 toppers. Right. Inside we've used the greeting and the second lady, and then I just had 4 pieces of background pictures which I've cut and layered. So in fact there's quite a few layers there because I've split the cutting. Okay, so it's another beautiful card and suitable for any ladies event. Okay, so let's have a quick whiz through. So we've got the Art Deco one, got the one with the dogs on it, so the dogs go from the front and into the inside. These are just basic shapes, right? So this is 2 pieces of wood paper, just angled at the top, and I've just cut away some sort of freehand opening and lifted it forward so you can see that there's an opening in there. Okay, Pritt stick, solid glue stick for a bowl, and this is just some embroidery thread which I've twisted and let fall back on itself so it twists. This one inspired by the picture of the greenhouse. Okay, and there's all our pot plants inside the greenhouse. You could easily just skip this and put packets of seeds in there as a gift, so even without any picture inside. Okay. This one, bird bath on there, and it's just a simple scene inside some silk flowers. You can either make them or buy them from the local shops. Okay, let's put that one down. This one, a nativity one, so we've got a picture of Bethlehem and the same picture inside, but this time with added characters and animals inside. I've even taken part of the sky and just ripped it so that I can build in some hills in there to bring it forward. Okay, so we've done that on previous videos, and this is back to the beginning of what inspired us to carry on and do these. So it can be something as plain and simple as just putting a topper inside, or you can look around what you've got at home and think, what can I make that is going to bring out the card. Okay. You could always just put chocolates inside or some gifts for a crafter. Okay, see where your imagination takes you and enjoy your crafting. God bless you all.